Canada is in crisis. Housing.
Canada could be sitting on the biggest housing bubble of all time. Once it bursts, Canada could be thrown into a deeper recession than any have forecasted.
Affordability.
This is for anyone thinking of moving to Canada. Our food prices are outrageous. Here we have a pack of drumsticks from Costco, $202 for this pack, or $224 for this one. Moral of the story, don't move here.
A doctor shortage.
Canada is expected to be short 30,000 family doctors by 2028.
Do you know that 6 million Canadians don't have a family doctor?
Right now, we're seeing that our healthcare systems are strained, if not broken, right across the country in many, many ways.
And what has this NDP Liberal government come up with to solve that problem?
Today, I'm going to talk about taxes.
More taxes. They are now implementing a capital gains tax, which is going to affect 300,000 or more businesses in Canada. Does that make any sense? It is economic vandalism. This all started about 2 months ago. They made this big announcement that they were going to bring in this new tax. It took them 2 months to actually show us what they had in mind. Now that we see it, this is a disaster for Canada. It's a disaster for so many areas of our economy that need a hand up right now, not to be further pushed down.
The country's doctors, lawyers, and other professionals are furious with the changes, saying that now, when they sell their practices at the end of their working lives, the government will be taking a much bigger chunk of their retirement nest egg.
We really cannot introduce new reasons for physicians to scale back their practice, particularly community family medicine practice. It's simply the wrong move.
When we don't have enough doctors and healthcare is deteriorating across the country, they've brought in a measure, a high tax measure, that will drive doctors south of the border. If you're a hardware store owner or you're a farmer trying to put seed in the ground right now, not in a position to advocate politically, or you're an organization like the CMA who says it'll be devastating, this affects
and that
you.
is what is the case right now in Canada.
And you believe only multimillionaires will be impacted by this? And I ask you that genuinely. I host a radio show during the day. I have been inundated the past 2 days with people who have called saying, I did not have a public sector job and I have paid taxes along the whole way. And now I'm being told I'm among the ultra wealthy that has to fund the government's income redistribution plan, essentially. Like, how is that about fairness?
According to our calculations, 0.13% of Canadians will pay more every single year based on these measures.
But the other thing, just to challenge you for a second, that's just an annual basis, right? That's not, some people will only pay capital gains once over their entire lifetime. So the number of people who may be impacted could be far greater than what your government has put forward. I know you want to characterize this as we're okay to go after the wealthy and the Conservatives are not, but there are a lot of people who do not feel wealthy who feel you are going after them.
So who does it benefit? That's a good question. If you're bringing in something with devastating economic effect at a time when Canada is struggling, who does it benefit? Well, it benefits the government that gets a big cash load coming in. And it benefits large corporations. This is a tax that's punitive for the little guy. And why do they need more money in government? Because of their inflationary spending, because of their recklessness and their lack of accountability, frankly, their incompetence when it comes to governing. So they need money. And who do they look to? The hardworking, middle-income, small business owners in this country. We're looking at scandals day after day after day in this government. Millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars spent on outside consultants. Arrive scam, green slush fund. I mean, it goes on and on.
It's probably some of the worst records keeping I have seen in a long time.
Record keeping around the travel app was so bad, the Auditor General says she still can't be sure how much was spent on it.
And don't forget, this is a government that has spent more than any other government in Canada's history combined. They need money. And now they're going to go after you for the money they're looking for. If Trudeau was really proud of this legislation, he wouldn't have brought it in the backdoor way he's done it. They make an announcement 2 months ago. We don't see the writing, what it really means. And the way they brought it in means that we've had limited debate. And the way they brought it in means that we've had limited debate. Your elected representatives, have very little time to have looked at this bill, considered it, and then debated it in Parliament. And it's already going forward. The legislative end of this is going to happen in the future, but the government will treat June 25th, the date they proclaimed, as the date when everything changes. And then they'll let the legislation catch up later. That is not the way to do public policy, and it's certainly not the way to bring in taxation of hard-working people. The only way to stop this is through an election at the ballot box, and to bring in common sense conservative government that believes in smaller government, more efficient government, and bigger citizens, that believes in lowering your taxes, personal taxes, corporate taxes. And this is a tax that you don't need and the country doesn't need. Enough is enough. This has to stop. You're the ones who can vote for that. I'm proud to be part of a party that is already committed to bring in a tax reform task force within 60 days of forming government, who will look to those who have the expertise, like entrepreneurs, business people, actually consult with Canadians about what our tax system should look like. We believe in people bringing home more powerful paychecks, and the only way to do that is to reduce taxation, reduce bureaucracy, cut red tape, and make sure that you bring home more of what you earn. There's a war on work in Canada right now, and we will reverse that. And as always, thanks for watching.